Nikolaevich, Grishkoff. Take this as my token. Elfrida Grishkoff, please take this as my token. Elfrida Grishkoff, please take this as my token. Allan Grishkoff, please take this as my token. Nicholas Alexander Grishkoff, please take this as my token. Nicholas Grishkoff, please take this as my token. Vladimir Nikolaevich Grishkoff, please take this as my token. Robert Wayne Grishkoff, please take this as my token. Nicholas Alexander Grishkoff, please take this as my token. To my Oma Grishkoff, please take this as my token. Mindy Grishkoff, please take this as my token. Jeanette Janet, please take this as a token of my appreciation. Angela Morgan, please take this as a token of appreciation. Allan Pickett, please take this as my form of appreciation. Sister Lucille Bernier, please take this as my appreciation. honors to all that have come before me. I am here because of this document. Vladimir Nikolaevich Grishkoff. Thank you for being here and being part of the energy today. And I hope I inspired you all. And if there are questions later on, I'll be here. I'll be hanging on the counter. So thanks again for sharing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
My name is Glenn Grishkoff, and this is
a work of art called The Brush with China, Family Markings, and I'm here at Hancock Community College working with students, brush making, and a performance that I just did today with the community of students and collaborators. For me, it's really important to perform alongside the students. It's their community, and a lot of times the students give me their energy, their input. So I was fortunate enough to work with 3 students today that became a part of my piece here, the Family Markings piece, and work in this show. This revolves around my family, my father's heirlooms. His jacket in the back was his jacket that he wore. The necklaces that I made today were his brushes that he made. So as a brush maker, I'm very in tune to those having been his brushes that he used to make with his own hands. The inkwells around the room are symbolic of watching my dad grind his own ink as a child and use his inkwell to paint family markings, kanji marks, his name and poetry. The inkwells that I make out of clay are thrown with my elbow. I twist my elbow and I create this beautiful shape, this random, spontaneous shape, and that comes from the heart and from my influence of my father. The pieces are wood-fired, they're salt-fired, they're raku-fired, so I employ a lot of different various firing techniques. The Sumi ink I use is dark and rich in nature. It's a nice, thick, sooty ink. I use my own brushes here to paint and make the mark, the family figurative mark here that you see. It's a representation of my father and grandfather. It embodies them. The imagery at the top is derived from family heirlooms, photographs that my grandfather took. The brush in the center, the porcelain blue brush, is the brush my father owned, the brush that I saw my father use as a child. I used this brush today to mark and pass out my markings during the performance. I gave an honorarium to my family members stating their names on message boards, and these marks of their life were made on the board, and then I passed them out to the audience, to the participants, and let my spirits of my ancestors go through. And it was very interesting. I'm very connected to the bird, so I wanted crow and raven sounds in the work. I was going to prepare some tape recordings of crows and ravens, but during the performance, the crows and ravens came. They came overhead and they made their sounds. For me, the bird is very powerful. The feather for me is one of my favorite brushes. The mark it makes, the beautiful broad strokes when it's dipped in sumi ink, is the bird's last flight, has a spirit, has an essence. The crows and ravens coming by connected with that. They have that bird spirit. My mask that I was wearing was a baker's hat that my dad had when he was a chef, a cook at Vandy Camps in Los Angeles. The nose part is one of his old ties, so it is very bird-like in its essence. And I was the generation that grew up with Sesame Street and Big Bird. I was thinking about that this morning. And there's that bird essence, that feeling of freedom in the work.